Hello, friends. Welcome to today's football predictions and betcraft. Okay, it's another very beautiful Tuesday morning, and once again, we've come with our predictions on this very channel. You know, and as we know, so many games are going across the globe today, as well as the Champions League matches. Also happening today. And also included in our predictions today. You know, and in a short while, we'll be looking at the matches one after the other, looking at the recent, statistics, making our verdict based on what we have on those statistics. Okay, and in a short while, I'll be doing that. But I want to ask you first who are coming across our video for the first time that are yet to subscribe to our channel to kindly take our time to hit the subscription button right now so that you won't be missing out on these wonderful games that will always come up on this very channel on a daily basis. Okay, we saw yesterday how successful we are. Yesterday we saw our first ticket once again. The one with 3.0 odd. You know, playing out just the way we predicted it. Absolutely correct. Okay. Congratulations to those of us who took part in that very first ticket and won yesterday. All right. Without further ado, we'll have to head to the business of today. As usual, we'll have two tickets. Each of these tickets containing three matches in it, and so we'll be starting with the first ticket, and it is starting with the very first match. It is the Champions League game. Uh, Girona who will be facing Liverpool. Okay, they'll be welcoming Liverpool. And then we look at recent games for these two sides. You can see that Girona in the last six have had two wins, two draws, as well as two losses. And we also saw them, losing the last home match against Real Madrid by 3 goals to nil on that occasion. And but when we look at Liverpool in the last six games, rather, have actually won five out of those six and have had one draw. They are a team in very fine form at the moment, and the last 10 away games that they had saw them, having 8 wins and two draws. Okay, that tells you a lot about this very side, and we know that Liverpool is a very strong side, showing real promise in recent times, and we expect their away side, Liverpool, to take the day in this one and win out shortly. So it is our away side to win out shortly. That's all ready for that very game. Okay, that takes us to the next match of the first ticket. It is in Romania League Two, where we'll have Zigzreda who will be facing Metalo Globus. Okay, when you look at recent games for both sides, you see that Zigzreda in the last six matches have had 3 wins, 2 draws, as well as one loss. The away side Meta Globus have had 4 wins and 2 draws. Impressive in the last six games that they have so far. So when you look at how these two teams perform from home and away perspective, you can see that this is great at the home side. In the last 10 home matches, have won every of the last 10 home games that they played so far. It is 100% record for them playing from home. That's very impressive form. Impressive home form. Okay, and when you look at Meta Globus, their away side, they've actually been able to achieve 5 victories in the last 10 away games, but they've had one draw as well as 4 losses in the last 10 away games that they had so far. The last time both teams met, it was Metallo Globus who played from home and they ended on 0-0 draw. That was actually in October of last year. And, prior to that, we saw Zizreda play from home on 2 occasions and won on those 2 occasions. That tells you that Zizreda is a team that does so well when played from home, seeing that they've actually won 10 matches in the last 10 home matches. In this very encounter, we still expect Zizreda at the home side to achieve a result too and win out shortly in this one. Home win. That's what we're ready for that very game. Okay, that takes us to the next, which happened to be the last for the first ticket. It is in Northern Ireland Championship, where we have Anna United who will be facing H&W Welders. Okay, in this very encounter, we see the recent games for both sides. We see that these two sides are quite all right. The home side have actually won 4 games in the last 6. They've had also 2 losses, and the away side, on the other hand, H&W Welders have won 2 games, 1 draw, but have lost 3 matches in the last 6 recent games that they have so far. And when you look at how they fared from home and away perspective, you can see that the home side have actually won 6 games in the last 10 home matches. They've had 2 draws as well as 2 losses. But what is quite showing in these very recent home matches is actually goals. You could see that the last 2 home matches that they had saw them uh, playing out a score line that's actually over 4.5, on those two. And we side, in the last 10 away games that they had, they've actually seen score line that is over, 2.5, 9 times out of 10. That tells you that, these are teams that scores and concede a lot of goals. So in this very encounter, we'll Also noting the fact that the last three head-to-head meetings also produce over 2.5 on each of them. So we expect to see a minimum of 3 goals appearing in this very encounter. Over 2.5, that's our value for that very encounter. All right, that concludes the first ticket for today. And we'll head to the second ticket. All right, and the second ticket starts with a game in Egypt Cup. We'll have Al Ali, the strongest side in Africa at the moment, coming up against MP. Okay, and Al Ali, as we know, very good side, have won 3 games in the last 6 matches. They've also had 3 draws as well. And when you look at which side MP have managed just 1 win in the last 6 games. They had 2 draws, but have lost 3 matches in the last 6 matches that they have so far. When you look at how this teams fare from home and away perspective, playing from home, Al Ali, the home side, have actually been able to achieve 5 victories in the last 10 home matches. They've also had 3 draws as well as 2 losses. But the MP on the other hand have not won a single match in the last 10 away games that they had. They've also lost 4 matches from away, but they've as well they have seen 6 draws in the last 10 away games that they had. And in this very one, looking at recent games for both sides, how they met head-to-head meetings, the last 2 meetings for both sides saw them playing out a 2-2 draw and a 1-0 draw. But in this very one, we will expect Al Ali, the home side, to pick up the sports in this very one, and it is the home side to win now shortly. That's all about it. Home win. That's what we expect. Okay, and that takes us to the next. It is the next step we have is in Champions League, where we have Salzburg who will be facing Paris Saint-Germain. Okay, Salzburg, as we know, have not been in fine form in recent games, and they've actually won 1 game and 2 draws in the last 6 matches, but have lost 3 out of those. And Paris Saint-Germain, their away side, have had 2 wins, 2 draws, as well as 2 losses in the last 6 matches that they have so far. When you look at how they fared from home and away perspective, playing from home, Salzburg have only been able to achieve 4 victories. They've had 3 draws, but have lost 3 matches as well in the last 10 home matches. And away side, Paris Saint-Germain have had 4 wins. They've also had 4 draws, as well as 2 losses in the last 10 home matches. Those losses were actually in the Champions League, where they lost out to Arsenal by 2-0, and they also lost out to Bayern Munich by 1-0 in the last Champions League appearance they had. And when we put all of this together, we know that Paris Saint-Germain is actually a bit, slightly in better form compared to Salzburg. So we give it to the away side, Paris Saint-Germain, to achieve a result in this one. It is a away win. That's what we expect, okay? And that takes us to the last game for the day. Also, in the UEFA Champions League, we'll have Atalanta, a team that is flying high at the moment, coming up against Real Madrid. And Atalanta have actually won 6 games out of 6 in the last 6 matches that they have so far. And Real Madrid, their away side, have won 4 and have lost 2 games in the last 6 matches. All right. When we look at how these 2 teams have performed from one away perspective, Atlanta at home have actually won 6 games in the last 10 home matches that they have so far. They've had 2 draws and 2 losses in the last 10 home matches that they have so far. As a matter of fact, the last 4 home matches that they had have resulted to all 4 being a win for Atalanta. And when you look at the away side, Real Madrid, and then Real Madrid have won 4 games in the last 10 away matches. They've actually drawn 3 and have lost 3 games in the last 10 away matches. And when you look at all of that, when you check the last head-to-head meeting, it was Real Madrid who won from home by 2-0 against Atalanta in the UEFA Super Cup. But in this very encounter, we know that Atalanta has been giving it to all the teams. At the same time, they've been doing so well. And we expect Atalanta, to also do it in this very one. So in this very encounter, it's going to be a lot of goals coming out. And our verdict is actually a minimum of 3 goals appearing in this very encounter. And over 2.5, that's what we expect for that very game. All right, that brings our predictions for you today on Betcraft to conclusion. I wish you the very best of luck. And I hope you to get goals green. Also remember to play responsibly. These are football matches, sometimes it may not be what it seems. All right, that being said, tomorrow is another day, and we'll be coming up on this very channel with our predictions. But until then, keep winning.